Well, welcome to a new Harry's Farm video, and you find us in the grain shed. We're just hiding because outside the guys have arrived from CYO to dress out some wheat to grow we're going to grow for seed. So that's what's going on outside. You're going to hear some things going on, but we'll go and visit that in a moment. I just wanted to take you through the Red Tractor Assurance Scheme, which is what I've been doing for the last 2.5 hours because I just had my annual inspection. Now, if you farm in the UK and you want to sell grain or cattle, sheep, whatever, you join this Red Tractor Assurance, NSF International run it. There we are, Crops, Fresh Produce and Beef and Lamb Farm Record Book. You have to record everything these days, and it's quite right true to get the Red Tractor Assurance symbol so you can sell your grain for food production. Everything has to be traceable, and it starts right at the beginning. So they come in, they've just inspected. I have to do risk assessments on various parts of the farm, crop mapping. They need to know the hectareage we've grown of each crop, and they just check everything we've done. I got pulled up on a couple of things. These are the spray records, and you note start finish times, wind speed direction, weather at the time. Unfortunately, the person operating the spray didn't sign every sheet, so I've got to send them a signed sheet for the ones that are missing. Same things on the fertiliser. I've got a soil record of what amount of fertiliser required for that crop. Did we apply it on time? Did we apply it in good conditions? Where do we store the fertiliser? Is it safe? It goes on and on. How do we treat the grain store? What do we do pre-harvest treatment in here? How are we monitoring the grain once that we've brought it in? Which field of wheat is stored where? There you have to keep a sample exactly on intake, so you know exactly where folly field or middle ground is actually stored in the grain shed. Goes on and on, the detail. It took, we were quite quick, he was saying this morning, a 2.5 hour check. But if you do see that red symbol on British food, it does mean you can say, I want to know where this bred, where was the wheat from, where was it farmed, and you can trace it all the way back, right to the seed it was growing from, when it was planted, the whole thing. So that was 2.5 hours this morning. I'm pleased to say we passed. I've just got to send that sheet form. And the other thing they picked up on, we put baits around to monitor if there's any mice or rodent activity, and we hadn't got a site map exactly where each baiting point was, so I've got to send them that as well. That's the level of detail. But what I really want to show you is what's happening outside, because it's quite a fascinating machine. They've turned up in this truck, and then I'll show you how you dress out seed to plant in a few weeks' time. Okay, just as we're about to film how the seed dresser works, it's decided to stop. Electric motor fault, they're just trying to fix it. But down at the house, I've got Chris Harris arriving in about 8 minutes to do one of these podcasts. He has Collecting Cars podcast where we're recording it this afternoon. So I've got a dash. So I'm going to take you around this machine and basically show you what's going on here. Most obvious thing here is this yellow trailer. So I filled that up with grain this morning. That's my seed out of the grain shed that then is going to be dressed to the really fine degree. That is here, this tractor is tipped up. I've done a little bit of spill because I've just filled it up, topped it up and managed to spill some. But this auger here is taking the grain into the dresser. So we come along this lorry and you'll find this is a dresser here. These are slides, these are the size of the sieves, 4.5, that's 4.5 mil sieves, 2.65 slots. So the grain comes at the top and it goes through these sieves, shake, 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 and that gets rid of impurities, gets initial stuff out, straw, bits of straw, broken grains, that sort of thing, grass seeds that are smaller than the wheat. After it's gone through that, it comes out of there and goes into something called a gravity separator, and that's a sort of cyclone thing going on there, and a different bed. It looks a specific way to the grain, and you balance this bed and you see it bouncing across the bed, and it's very particular on the type of seed it will let through. I know the 1,000 grain weight of this seed. It was nearly 57 grams per 1,000 grains. They measure that, and then that's how you work out the seed rate. So it's a heavy grain, it's going through there, and it's really quite pure seed by now. Goes up that auger. Normally this is noisy as hell, so it's actually quite noisy to stop. Goes up there, and then that red bit can see there, that actually is adding a seed dressing that coats the seed in a red coating. There it is. So that's the dressed seed with the seed coating on. And you put a seed coating on, basically just fungal disease when it hits the ground, and it's meant to improve the vigour and the germination and spark it into life. Normally, as I say, it's really noisy. We're looking at this readout here. Each bag is 500 kilos. Grain shooting into there. Hopefully we'll get some B-roll and be able to add it when the machine's going again. And then with a loader you go and tuck it in the shed. So it's a way of, it's cheaper for me obviously to use my own seed. This process, it's not too expensive per tonne. The seed dressing is about £115. I have to pay a royalty to the seed producer for dressing out the seed. This is known as C3 seed. So if I was to buy seed from a grain merchant, it's normally C2. So C1 is for seed production. I'm buying seed 1 generation seed, and that then becomes C2. That's what normal farm seed is. And the idea is that the genetics are still very stable. The risk is weed seed getting in there, or rogue varieties of wheat, etc. So it's not quite as pure, but I'm very confident. Where I picked the field this has come from, I hadn't grown wheat for a while, therefore I know it's very pure Skyfall variety, which is what we grew this year. There's a very quick demonstration run through of how a seed dresser works. It's a magic bit of kit when it's working. We're doing 14.7 tonnes dressing out because we want to plant 350 seeds per square metre. We know the 1,000 grain weight at 57, so you work it all out. It's about 198 kilos a hectare it works out at. They know that, dress it out, and I've saved myself about 120 pounds on the cost of seed. So it's about an £1,800 saving, which is worth having. Right, next thing I want to show you is the linseed, which we put in last week and is just coming through the ground. Okay, well this is the field we were putting into linseed, drilling it a week ago today. Today's Wednesday. Last Wednesday was the last report I did, and that was when we were drilling this crop and I was finishing off rolling. And I'm pleased to say it's now coming up. I can now see seedlings all coming up along the rows, not fully in rows yet, but it won't be many more days, and that's just what you want. We were going flat out last week because we knew it was going to rain at the weekend. We've had about 80 mil of rain since this went in the ground. It'd be quite nice if it stopped now, because there's plenty of moisture around for this to germ and to grow away. Since it went in, I think Thursday or Friday, we put a pre-emergent herbicide on it, so that's gone on. So this is sort of the perfect start of linseed. If you plant a crop, put the seed in the ground, you really want it to grow away straight away. It means it doesn't sort of sit there and get mouldy and get slug attacks and things like that. And there's still plenty of soil temperature in the ground to help it grow away. So there you go. This is the latest update from Harry's farm. I hope you enjoy the video. If you have, please subscribe and continue following the channel. Thanks very much, and thanks for watching.